This is the first chapter of class 11 biology, and it's really small, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, and I'm very sure that you people can finish this chapter in one sitting with me. So, living world. How wonderful is the living world? The wide range of living types is amazing. The extraordinary habitats in which we find living organisms, be it cold mountains, deciduous forests, oceans, freshwater lakes, deserts, or hot springs, leave us speechless. Yeah, only if they are not polluted. The beauty of a galloping horse, of the migratory birds, the valley of flowers, or the attacking shark evoques awe and a deep sense of wonder. The ecological conflict and cooperation among members of population and among populations of a community, or even the molecular traffic community, this shit is bad. If we think through our parents' sense. Okay, or even the molecular traffic, no, that's not I meant. Now even the molecular traffic inside a cell makes us deeply reflect on what indeed is life. This question has two implicit questions within it. The first is a technical one and seeks answer to what living is, as opposed to non-living, and the second is philosophical and seeks answer to the purpose of life. As scientists, we shall not attempt answering the second question. Yeah, we will try to reflect on what is living. Diversity in living world. If you look around, you will see a large variety of living organisms, be it potted plants, insects, birds, your pets, or other animals, including us and plants. There are also several organisms that you cannot see with your naked eye, but they are all around you, like a ghost. If you were to increase the area that you make observations in, the range and variety of organisms that you will see increases. Obviously, if you were to visit a dense forest, you would probably see a much greater number of kinds of living organisms in it. Anaconda, each different kind of plant, animal, or organism that you see represents a species. The number of species that are known and described range between 1.7 to 1.8 million. This refers to biodiversity, or the number and types of organisms present on Earth. We should remember here that as we explore new areas and even old ones, new organisms are continuously being identified. As stated earlier, there are millions of plants and animals in the world. We know the plants and animals in our own area by their local names. These local names would vary from place to place. Even within a country, probably you would recognize the confusion that would be created if we did not find ways and means to talk to each other to refer to the organisms we are talking about. That is, see, you will call coriander dhania patti, and the uh, shopkeeper might call it kotamali tala. So you need a common name. You can tell him that is coriander. That is common English name, so that you both people can converse and buy it. Hence, there is a need to standardize the naming of living organisms such that a particular organism is known by same name all over the world. This process is called nomenclature. Obviously, nomenclature or naming is the only possible when the organism is described correctly and we know to what organism the name is attached to. This is identification. In order to facilitate the study, number of scientists have established procedures to assign a scientific name to each known organism. This is acceptable to biologists all over the world. For plants, scientific names are based on agreed principles and criteria which are provided by ICBN, International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. You may ask, how are animals named? Animal taxonomists have evolved International Code of Zoological Nomenclature (ICZN). The scientific names ensure that each organism has only one name. Description of any organism should enable the people in any part of the world to arrive to same name. They also ensure that such a name has not been used for any other organism. Now, biologists show universally accepted principle to follow scientific names to known organisms. Each name has two components, generic name and a specific epithet, species name that is. This system of providing a name with two components is called binomial nomenclature. This is important. This naming system given by Carlos Linnaeus, the guy, is being practiced by biologists all over the world. This naming system using a two-word format was found convenient. Let us take example of mango to understand the way of providing scientific names better. The scientific name of mango is Magnifera indica. See, the genus name starts with a capital letter. Remember it. Let us see how it is. A binomial name. In this, Magnifera represents the genus, while indica is a particular species or a specific epithet. Other universal rules of nomenclature: biological names are generally in Latin. Latin because it is a dead language and it won't change with time. Like we see the languages that we speak have evolved uh, as the time passed by. They are not same as they were. Shakespeare English was totally different from mine. So we use a dead language so that it won't change with time. They are Latinized or derived from Latin irrespective of their origin. The first word is biological in a biological name represents genus, while the second component is specific epithet. Both the words in a biological name, when handwritten separately, should be underlined, and when it is printed, it should be printed in italics to indicate they are of Latin origin. They are not normal words of a normal language. They are from a dead language. Now, the first word denotes the genus starts with a capital letter, while a specific epithet starts with a small letter. It can be illustrated with the example Magnifera indica. Name of author appears after this specific epithet at the end of biological name and is written in an abbreviated form. Example Magnifera indica Lin. See, that guy discovered it. They will carelessly Linnaeus. It indicates that this species was first described by Linnaeus. Yeah. Since it is nearly impossible to study all the living organisms, it is necessary to devise some means to make this possible. This process is called classification. Classification is the process by which anything is grouped into convenient categories based on some easily observable characters. For example, we easily recognize groups such as plants or animals or dogs or cats or insects. The moment we use any of these terms, we associate certain characters with the organism in that group. What image do you think when you think of a dog? Obviously, each one of us will see dogs and not cats. Now, if you were to think of Alsatians, we know what we are talking about. Similarly, suppose we were trying to say mammals, you would of course think of a animal with external ears and body hair. Likewise, in plants, if we try to talk of wheat, the picture in each of our minds will be of wheat plants, not of rice or any other plant. Hence, all these dogs, cats, mammals, wheat, rice, plants, animals, etc. are convenient categories we use to study organisms. The scientific term for the categories is taxa. Here, you must recognize that taxa can indicate categories at very different levels. Plants also form a taxa. Wheat is also a taxa. Similarly, animals, mammals, dogs are all taxa. But you know that a dog is a mammal and mammal are animal. Therefore, animals, mammals, and dogs represent taxa at different levels. Hence, based on characteristics, all living organisms can be classified into different taxa. This process of classification is called taxonomy. External and internal structure, along with the structure of cell, development process, and ecological information of organisms, are essential and form the basis of modern taxonomic studies. Hence, characterization, identification, classification, and nomenclature are the process that are basic to taxonomy. Taxonomy is not something new. Human beings have always been interested in knowing more and more about the various kinds of organisms, particularly with reference to their own use. Yeah, if you can eat it, if you can make food out of it, make shelter out of it, make weapon out of it, that's how we categorize. Like we have cows that can give us milk, and we have also bulls or ox, the male counterparts for farming. So that's how we categorize animals of same species. In early days, human beings needed to find source for their basic needs of cloth, food, and shelter. Hence, the earliest classification were based on the uses of various organisms. Human beings were selfish. No, human beings were since long not only interested in knowing more about different kinds of organisms and their diversities, but also the relationships among them. This branch of study was referred to as systematics. The word systematics is derived from Latin word systema, which means systematic arrangement of organisms. Linnaeus and Systema Naturae as the title of his publication. The scope of systematics was later enlarged to include identification, nomenclature, and classification. Systematics takes into account evolutionary relationships between organisms. Now, taxonomic categories. Classification is not a single step process, but involves hierarchy of steps in which each step represents a rank or category. Since the category is a part of overall taxonomic arrangement, it is called taxonomic category. And all the categories together constitute the taxonomic hierarchy. Each category, referred to as unit of classification, in fact, represents a rank and it is termed as taxon. Taxonomic categories and hierarchy can be illustrated by an example. Insects represent a group of organisms sharing common features like three pairs of joined legs. It means insects are recognizable concrete objects that can be classified and thus were given a rank or category. Can you name other such group of animals? Remember, groups represent category. Category further denotes rank. Each rank or taxon in fact represents a unit of classification. These taxonomic groups or categories are distinct biological entities and not merely morphological aggregates. Taxonomical studies of all known organisms have led to the development of common categories such as kingdom, phylum, or division. Division we use for plants only, and class, order, family, genus, and species. All organisms, including those in the plant and animal kingdom, have species as the lowest category. Now, the question you may ask is how to place an organism in various categories. The basic requirement is the knowledge of characters of an individual or group of organisms. This helps us in identifying similarities and dissimilarities among the individuals of the same kind of organisms as well as of other kind of organisms. Species, the lowest category. Taxonomic studies consider a group of individual organisms with fundamental similarities as species. One should be able to distinguish one species from the other closely related species based on the distinct morphological differences. Let us consider Magnifera indica, Solanum tuberosum, potato, and Panthera leo, lion. All the three names indica, tuberosum, and leo represent the specific epithets, while the first two words, Magnifera solanum and Panthera, genera, and represents another higher level of taxon or category. Each genus may have one or more than one specific epithets representing different organisms, but having morphological similarities. For example, Panthera has other species called tigris, and solanum includes species like nigrum and melongena. Human beings belong to species Spacians, which are grouped in genus Homo. The scientific name thus for human being is Homo sapiens. Genus comprises a group of related species which have more characters in common in comparison to species of another genera. We can say that genera are aggregates of closely related species. For example, potato and brinjal are two different species but belong to the same genus Solanum. Lion and leopard, tiger, Panthera, leopardus, and tigris, with several common features, are all species of genus Panthera. Thus, a genus differs from another genus Phyllis, which is cats. Now, family, the next category, family has a group of related genera with still less number of similarities, but are, as compared to genus and species, families are categorized on the basis of both vegetative and reproductive features of plant species. Among plants, for example, three different genera, Solanum, Petunia, and Datura, are placed in the family Solanaceae. Among animals, for example, genus Panthera, comprising lion, tiger, leopard, is put along with genus Felis, cats, in the family Felidae. Similarly, if you observe the feature of a cat and a dog, you will find some similarities and some differences as well. They are separated in two different families, Felidae and Canidae, respectively. Order. You have seen earlier that categories like species, genus, families are based on number of similar characters. Generally, order and other higher taxonomic categories are identified based on aggregates of characters. Order being a higher category is an assemblage of families which exhibit few similar characters. The similar characters are less in number as compared to different genera included in a family. Plant families like Convolvulaceae, Solanaceae, are included in the order Polynomials. mainly based on the floral characters. The animal order Carnivora includes families like Felidae and Canidae. Class. This category includes related orders. For example, order Primata comprising monkey, gorilla, gibbon is placed in the class Mammalia along with other carnivora that includes animals like tiger, cat, dog. Class Mammalia has other orders too. Phylum. Class is comprising animals like fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds, along with mammals constitute the higher category called phylum. All this based on common features like presence of notochord, holodorsal neural system are included in phylum and chordata. In case of plants, classes with a few similar characters are assigned to a higher category called division. Here we have a table, guys. Please look into it. It's really useful. Then kingdom. All animals belonging to various phyla are assigned to highest category called kingdom Animalia in the classification system of animals. The kingdom Plantae, on the other hand, is distinct, comprises all plants from various divisions. Hence, we will refer to these two groups as animal and plant kingdoms. The taxonomic categories from species to kingdom have been shown in ascending order starting with species in figure 1.1. These are broad categories. However, taxonomists have also developed subcategories in this hierarchy to facilitate more sound and scientific placement of various taxa. Look at the hierarchy in figure 1.1. Can you recall the basis of arrangement? Say, for example, as we go higher from species to kingdom, the number of common characters goes on decreasing. Lower the taxa, more are the characters that are members within the taxon share. However, the higher the category, greater is the difficulty of determining the relationship to other taxa at the same level. Hence, the problem of classification becomes more complex. Table 1.1 indicates taxonomical categories to which some common organisms like housefly, mango, and wheat belong. For man, it's called Homo sapiens, genus Homo, family Hominidae, order Primata, class Mammalia, and phylum Chordata. Housefly, Musca domestica, genus Musca, family Muscidae, order Diphtheria, class Insecta, phylum Arthropoda. Mango magnifera indica magnifera is the genus, families Anacardiaceae, order Sapindales, class Dicotyledonum, phylum Angiospermae. Weed Triticum aestivum, Triticum poane, poles, Monocotyledone, Angiospermae. Whoa, we have finished the chapter, guys. Oh my god, under 20 minutes. Summary. The living world is rich in variety. Millions of plants and animals have been identified and described, but a large number of still remains unknown. The very range of organisms in the terms of size, color, habitat, physiological and morphological features makes seek the defining characters of living organisms. In order to facilitate the study of kinds and diversity of organisms, biologists have evolved certain rules and principles for identifying, naming, and classifying the organisms. The branch of knowledge dealing with these aspects is referred to as taxonomy. The taxonomic studies of various species of plants and animals are useful in agriculture, forestry, industry, and in general for knowing our bioresources and their diversity. The basics of taxonomy, like identification, naming, and classification of organisms, are universally evolved under international codes. Based on the resemblances and distinct differences, each organism is identified and assigned a correct scientific or biological name comprising two words as per the binomial system of nomenclature. A organism represents or occupies a place or position in the system of classification. There are many categories ranks which are generally referred to as taxonomic categories or taxa. All the categories constitute a taxonomic hierarchy.